Hi class, here we are halfway through the course, and by now you've become fairly proficient at posting on your blogs. At this point, I think it's important to get into the integration of social media, which is really important in terms of an MA and integrated marketing communication. We need to focus on using more than just one platform to reach our audiences and to get them to engage. So this week I want to give you a podcast or a screencast to show you how to branch out from your blog platform where you've been posting and engaging with classmates, and learn how to integrate your Twitter and your Pinterest accounts in order to drive traffic to your blog to increase reach or people who see your blog posts, and to get those people to engage in your blog in some way, for instance, posting comments to your blog. Now, I'll admit right up front that for this class, for academic purposes, we've limited our reach to just our classmates in order to protect the privacy of some people who may feel a little uncomfortable getting out there on the internet and opening up their identities and their social media accounts to anyone on the internet. So our reach, or the audience for this class, is quite small, but still I want to use this as an example of what you can do on a larger scale. So let's just take a look first of all at the audience for this class. We'll open up the wiki and let's go to contacts and teams. You'll notice I've got an interactive menu. Let's jump right down to our social media list, and basically what you see here is the audience for this class. It's also a matrix of social media channels for this audience. So were we to come up with a strategic plan, we've got plenty of information here on how to reach this audience. So let's take, for example, our blogs, which is the primary platform. Here we've got a list of the social media blog posting sites where we are holding our discussions for each student. Again, this is our audience, and according to the assignment for the social media management project, we're trying to attract followers to your blog. Everyone needs to follow at least 4 of your classmates' blogs, and at least 2 of those have to be outside your assigned team. So I want to get everybody kind of to break the barrier of just sticking with your discussion members and take a look around at the other blogs being posted by your classmates. Use the criteria I've set up in the course schedule and syllabus to determine the credibility of the blogs. You should be looking for current postings. You should be looking for images, links, keywords, things that would describe a credible blog. So if we just take a look at one of these blogs, I'll take a look at mine. I only have 19 members, or people who follow my blog on a regular basis. So 19 is not a very big audience. If I post something on my blog, I want more people to see that blog post and to engage in it. To do that, I need to expand beyond this 19 member following that I have on my blog, and this would be comparable to our class. We have roughly 20 people in the class, counting me, and fairly small audience. So how do you branch out beyond, let's say, your team of 5 students and reach those other 20? Well, for me, I can use my social media channels. I would integrate the work I'm doing in the blog by posting a blog and then driving traffic to that blog post by reaching beyond this membership of 19. For instance, I can use my LinkedIn audience. This is an interesting little graphic. Anybody who has a LinkedIn account can produce one of these. It's called LinkedIn Maps. You can just Google LinkedIn Maps. Allow the maps, which are produced by LinkedIn Labs, to connect with your LinkedIn account, and it will draw a social network that you can expand. You can see here I am in the center. We'll open it up a little bit, and each of these colors represents a different category of connections. Military, Marist College. Green would be current, former students. gray professional colleagues, etc. And you can design this yourself. But you can see all my connections begin to branch out. Now, look for the big circles. I see one over here. It's huge. Tim Massey, Director of Corporate Giving at Activist, one of the speakers I'm trying to line up for a session with our class later this semester, former Chief of Public Affairs at Marist College, very well connected. He's a tremendously influential opinion leader. So if I want to connect my messages with Tim through LinkedIn, I get the benefit of then also connecting with many of Tim's contacts. So the reach of my message, which begins on my blog, can be extended if I also post something on my LinkedIn account that then reaches this huge network. And right now my network on LinkedIn is up to about 600 connections. So quite a bit more than the 20 that would follow my blog. I can also go to Facebook. Now I have 197 friends. So if I post something on Facebook with a link to my blog, I'm helping to drive traffic from my Facebook connections back to the blog, which again expands that audience of 19 or 20. I could use Twitter. And on Twitter, you can see I have 385 followers. So add another 400 followers to the Facebook and LinkedIn audiences, and now I've got well over 1,000, counting my blog audience. When I post a tweet, I want to make sure, though, that I have a link in that tweet that drives traffic to my blog. Finally, in this class, we're using Pinterest. I do not have a big following on Pinterest, only 25, but I'm using Pinterest as just a simple way for us to play around with another social media outlet and demonstrate how you can use other social media channels and the audiences that surround those channels to drive traffic into my designated site. So let's take a look at how this works in reality. Now, for purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to borrow from Courtney's blog because she's done a good job integrating her work here on the blog with Twitter, and I'll show you how she did that in just a moment. But let's just begin with the starting point of her blog post on February 11th. She writes about laughable goals. She's looking at Oscar Pistorius, who has made the news recently for less than desirable reasons, but again, she's done a really good job here of including images, links to famous people. Those links, those images, are going to optimize the results for anyone that wants to search for Paralympics, the 2016 Rio Olympics, Pistorius, Tiger Woods, etc. Courtney's blog post, because she's included those keywords and links and images, will appear somewhere on that, let's say, Google search list. So she's already done a good job optimizing her blog, inserting those links, images, even videos. So make sure you're doing that with your posts. Now, once she posted her blog post, she went over to Twitter. And I'm going to demonstrate what you can do with your own Twitter accounts through our own class account for COMI610. Okay, here we have our class account for Marist COMI610. That's our Twitter handle. And you can see I set this Twitter feed up and I'm following none other than many of the students in this class. So Courtney, George, Laura, Amanda, James, Nia. I'm following anyone who's listed their Twitter account on our Contacts and Teams wiki page. I also follow a number of other people like Tim Massey. So going back to home, what we're going to see is anyone that you choose to follow on your Twitter account, whenever they tweet or retweet or mention you, their tweets are going to show up on your Twitter profile. Now, how to follow, let's just click on Tim. I'm already following Tim, but let's unfollow him for now. Let's say I look up Tim Massey's, I search for Tim on Twitter, I find his account, or you can find the accounts for classmates and me on the iLearn Wiki, find our Twitter feed and follow us. Then you'll be seeing all of our tweets on your Twitter feed. So if I scroll down, let's say, for instance, Kate. Kate's got a couple of tweets here just in the last 3 to 5 hours. She's using Pinterest. She's using hashtags, which helps send your list to a wider group of users who might be following that particular topic. And she's using handles like the Ritz-Carlton, and those help drive up your viewership. Scroll on down further, and I see Courtney. Back to Courtney's blog post. In addition to the post, she reached out to a broader audience on Twitter, those that are following her, and that should include all of us. And she has asked us to engage, join the conversation. What's your laughable goal? That's a pretty good hook. It creates some curiosity. Everyone likes a good laugh. So I'm going to click on that link that she's very strategically inserted. So over we go, back to the blog. So again, that's a way that Courtney has reached out through Twitter to a broader audience and driven traffic to the blog. Now, how about Pinterest? First of all, I want to show you how you can very quickly pin web pages, let's say a blog post, to Pinterest through the Pinterest pin button. If you go to the Pinterest website and look for their goodies link, click on goodies, you'll see some mobile device applications that you can download to your iPhone or tablets. Scroll on down. There's a pin it button that you can pin as a widget to your, let's say, in this case, I'm using Google Chrome browser. All you need to do is grab that pin it button, left click, hold it, and drag it up to your browser. And you're going to have what I've already placed here, a pin it button. So with that pin it button, I can now start looking for, let's say, Courtney's or my blog posts. Now again, you'll need to have an image for anyone to pin this. So make sure you're putting images in your posts. I go up to my pin widget and it will search for any pinnable images that are on that page. So Courtney has very wisely put in an image of Oscar Pistorius. I scroll over that and I can pin it. Okay, so encourage a little bit of traffic to go to her board through the pin. I'm going to pin that. I can pin it to a variety of boards, anyone that I'm an author of or that I belong to. So I'm going to use my social media class board, which you all should have access to. I'll pin that. And now I can see my pin and it will take me to my social media class board. You can see I've got a double pin. I'll simply eliminate one of those. And there we have the pin that's going to take us to Courtney's blog post. All I need to do is left click on the pin, it'll open it up, and click it one more time, and we are now at Courtney's blog. So again, I think that demonstration will show you how you go from your desired site, that could be a website, could be a blog, could be your Facebook page, LinkedIn, and then use other social media channels strategically, reaching out to different audiences that may not be on your preferred page. Use links, images, videos, keywords to drive traffic to that page. Now, next time I'll show you how you can use your Blogger statistics to actually track where your traffic is coming from. You want to take a look at how that integration work actually helped increase your reach, people that viewed the blog, and engagement, people who actually took action, like posting a comment on your blog. So stay tuned for more of this next week. I hope this helps. Thanks.